I'm gonna show to you, my fellow chessers, the chess game between Magnus Carlsen and Praggnanandhaa in SuperUnited Rapid and Blitz Croatia 2025 Blitz round number 8 or Blitz 8, my fellow chessers. So let's begin on B3. So this is Nimzowicz Larsen attack, my fellow chessers. B3, E5, bishop to b2 attacking the pawn on e5, as you can see. Knight c6 defending the pawn on e5, my fellow chessers. E3, g6, c4, bishop g7, knight f3 attacking the pawn on e5, knight g e7, d4, e takes d4, knight takes d4, castles kingside, bishop e2, knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, d5, knight c6, c d takes c4, d takes c4, queen takes d8, rook takes d8, bishop c4, my fellow chessers, attacking the pawn on f7 squares. Knight f5, king e2, knight d6 attacking the bishop on c4 squares. Bishop d3, bishop e6, rook h d1. What's the idea? Go rushing here on d file. F5, rook a c1, c6, h4, king f7, h5, king to f6, h takes g6, h takes g6, rook h1, knight f7, rook c d1, rook d7, bishop c2, rook takes d1, rook takes d1, rook h8, f4, g5, king f3. What's the idea of king f3? To go here or here? King. Anyway, g takes f4, e takes f4, a5, bishop d3. What's the idea of bishop d3? To go here, something like that. b5, king f2, a5, b4. Wow. a3, bishop e2, rook c8, rook d2, king to e7, bishop f3 attacking the pawn on c6, knight d6, knight e2, c5, b takes c5, rook takes c5, knight d4 attacking the bishop on e6, bishop c4, knight c6 attacking the king. Check, my fellow chessers. King to d7, knight to b4. Wow. King to e6, rook to c2, rook to c8, rook to c3 attacking the pawn on a3 squares or a3 pawn, my fellow chessers. Rook d1, rook d8, rook takes a2, a3, a3, rook h8, mistake of Magnus Carlsen. The best continuation on this position is knight to e4, king f6, or knight c8. Alright, this is the best continuation of this position. So let's continue the real game, my fellow chessers. Alright, rook h8, rook a6. As you can see the evaluation bar here, white is winning, my fellow chessers. Rook a6, but the game is not the end. Rook h1. So the idea to go here. Alright, to attack this pawn on a2. a3. Rook a1 to attack the pawn on a3, attacking the pawn on a3, my fellow chessers. King to e3, very good move of Praggnanandhaa. King to d7, king to d4, rook to e1, rook a7, check, attacking the king on d7 squares. King to e6, knight to c6. What's the idea of knight to c6? To go here on d8, something like that. King to f6, rook a6 is mistake or blunder of Praggnanandhaa. The best continuation on this position is knight to e5 or knight to b4 or knight to b8. I think this is the best, all right, to maintain the winning position of Praggnanandhaa, my fellow chessers. But rook a6, b4, rook b6, b takes a3, knight b4, king to e7. Wow. Bishop d5, blunder of Praggnanandhaa. The best continuation on this position is knight to d5, rook takes d6, or knight c6 check, my fellow chessers, to maintain the equal position of white, my fellow chessers. Alright. I think this is the best. Rook takes d6, sacrificing. If takes, we have king takes c4. This is equal position, my fellow chessers. As you can see, the evaluation bar, my fellow chessers. But the blunder of Praggnanandhaa is one of the. I don't think so. Where is that? Bishop to d5 blunder, my fellow chessers. But that's the part of the game. Rook to e7. Rook to d1 mistake of Magnus Carlsen. The best continuation on this position is a2 or bishop f1 to attack this pawn on g2, my fellow chessers. Rook d1, as you can see, the evaluation bar is equal again, my fellow chessers. And as you can see, the time of Praggnanandhaa and Magnus Carlsen is only 10 seconds below, my fellow chessers. All right, so let's continue the game. King to e5, mistake or blunder of Praggnanandhaa, my fellow chessers, to king e5. The best continuation on this position is king to c5 or king to c3, my fellow chessers, to maintain the equal position or drawist position, my fellow chessers. All right, king c5 or king to e2. Ay, king to c3. The best is king to c5. All right, king to c5 is the best, my fellow chessers. All right, but this is part of the game, my fellow chessers. Blunder, my fellow chessers. King to e5, rook to e1, king to d4, a2, knight takes a2, rook to d1, very good move, king to e3, bishop takes d5, knight c3, attacking the rook on d1 at the same time attacking the bishop on d5, knight to c3, knight to c4, my fellow chessers, check, my fellow chessers, at the same time attacking the rook on b6, my fellow chessers, king to e2, rook to d2, check, king to e1, knight takes b6, and then king takes e2, d2, bishop takes g2, king to e2, blunder of Praggnanandhaa. The best continuation in this position is knight b5, my fellow chessers. Anyway, king to e3, knight d5, check, my fellow chessers, at the same time attacking the knight on c3, my fellow chessers. And Praggnanandhaa resigned the game. Why? If you continue the game, like for example, takes, as you can see, Magnus Carlsen is one bishop up, my fellow chessers. As you can see, like for example, king to d5, we have bishop to here, and if we go here, we go here, we go here, or king to d4, we have go here. As you can see, black is winning on this position. Whatever it takes, black is winning. Alright, takes and this go. As you can see, Magnus Carlsen we have one extra pawn. All right, as you can see, my fellow catchers, I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say, my fellow catchers. So like, comment, and subscribe, my fellow catchers. And that's all, my fellow catchers. Like, comment, and subscribe. To God be all the glory. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ.